Hey, what's going on, guys? This is part 2 of Drakengard, and with me today I have FineEdge Gaming.
Hello.
Michael won't be joining us for these next videos because he's basically going through a lot of personal things right now, so we are either going to have FineEdge or Miles in these videos from now on. Just to clarify.
Lady Threadeye is on the top floor of the keep. Please, hurry, sire.
So, I've never played this game before. Yeah, like...
Yeah, it's basically like a Dynasty Warriors style game with a very sort of interesting story and characters. I'd say interesting in quotations there, because it's a very bizarre game.
Oh, you go.
To put it lightly.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, like contrary to what Michael said, this does look like a Dynasty Warriors game. I mean, you're just walking around killing dudes. Like, I mean, seriously, it even plays like it.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially like kind of helps to emphasize the fact that Kaim is slaughtering people. I guess the fact that it plays like a Dynasty Warriors game and you can just mow down armies of soldiers.
Oh, interesting tidbit. Well, I was researching this game for this video, right? And in a developer interview, like the concept of the game came from, they were in a bar and they pitched the idea of a dragon flight sim. And during development, they decided to, like, Dynasty Warriors 2 came out during development, and it was a big hit in Japan, so they're like, hey, why not just make it like a Dynasty Warriors game?
Yeah, that's really interesting information, because I didn't even know that. I did know that this does take place, for those, if I haven't already mentioned it takes place in the same universe as Nier does. And I knew that the same guy that worked on that worked on the Drakengard games, but I didn't know like all the background information of how this was developed and everything. Yeah,
it's like I didn't know they did a whole like. Well, do you know how Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes was made? Like the reason why it's even on the GameCube.
I actually don't know that.
Kojima and Miyamoto were just having dinner, right? And Miyamoto's like, hey, why don't you just put Metal Gear on the GameCube? And Kojima's like, sure, why not?
That's really how that's the only reason why it's on the GameCube?
Yeah, like, just because Miyamoto asked. Because,
wow.
Yeah, Kojima looks up to Miyamoto and sees him as a mentor.
Oh, well, that does kind of make sense then. I mean, and it's kind of good that it was a GameCube exclusive, because, you know, GameCube has some the capability of, for first-party games to have some pretty decent visuals and everything, and it looks really good even to this day.
Oh yeah, like because Nintendo focused more on a more stylized art style, like
yeah.
And the GameCube, well, I wish the GameCube did have bigger disc like space, because it was actually stronger than a PS2.
Yeah, the GameCube was a pretty decent system for what it was.
Yeah, it was just...
Although my favorite console, personally, is the PlayStation 2, just because it has a huge library of games, and, you know, it's honestly, in my opinion, one of the best consoles out there.
Yeah, I loved games like Rogue Galaxy and Valkyrie Profile 2.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it has a lot of, like... It just has a huge variety of games, especially, like, this one in particular.
Yeah, I remember...
And it had stuff like Shadow of the Colossus and all that,
yeah,
which were amazing.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting you, but...
No, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I do remember seeing this game in stores, but I never, like, bought it.
Yeah, I remember I've seen this game before, but I didn't really think much of it until I really learned what it was about. Like, it wasn't until I learned, like, all the details of this game and how it connected to Nier and everything, and just everything about the characters and just how intricate the story was. I mean, when you first see it, it looks like a completely different game. You just think, oh, it's just some hack and slash game where you're like riding a dragon, and that's really like it. When you look at it at face value, yeah, that's what it is. But like, it's a lot more than that if you get into it, or if you just pay attention to what's going on in the story.
Yeah.
Somehow.
You know, when researching this game, something really weird I found was originally there was a jump feature, but they took it out because it was...
Oh, well, see, I just jumped right there, so...
Yeah,
yeah, they must have been talking about something else because I just know that you can jump. But that is interesting, though, that the jump was buggy.
Yeah, like they said the jump feature was really buggy, so they removed it because of time restraints, and it was like too buggy for them to fix. I don't know how you can fuck up a jump
fixed it.
Damn you, Wikipedia. Lie to me again.
Well, I guess that just goes to show how incorrect the Wikipedia articles can be. So I guess it's just because people can just go in and edit them.
But anyways, I'm not gonna stop.
Oh, wait until we get to the soldiers later on that can resist magic, so we can't spam our flame attack. If we do that, then it'll just reflect back at us. Those guys can be annoying.
There's like 50 of them. Like, God, that would suck.
The number... Well, you haven't seen anything, FineEdge. There's a huge number of enemies on each map. You don't have to kill all of them, though. It's pretty much optional, but you can, you know, level up from it. So I guess you just want to grind. And there is also a time limit. Funny fact. There's a time limit, but you're probably never going to run out of time because you have plenty of time. Like, you've got more than enough time to get to the objective or slaughter all these guys.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that in the first part. Like, you get an hour to do it.
There's a time limit.
It's like, well, and I remember seeing it on the map too. But it's like, why do these games give you an hour to do it?
Yeah, I know.
It never takes that long. I mean, you just finished it in 12 minutes.
In 11 minutes. Yeah, 12.
Something.
And we reach our sister Furia finally. At least I think we do.
Oh, leveling up.
Yeah, we leveled up our sword. I think it's called Comet Dance. That's basically the most powerful weapon is Kaim's sword. The other weapons, they're good for, like, one of them is good for the bigger enemies, but you're more often than not going to be using Kaim's sword, because Kaim's sword is pretty overpowered, or just the most effective weapon at least.
Stop!
It's pretty fast and it does quite a bit of damage, so there's really not much choice to use any of the other weapons.
I hate it when they basically have one overpowered weapon from the beginning and just make everything else worthless.
I mean, I have experimented with the other weapons, but there's really no point. The other weapons just aren't useful at all, except maybe one or two of them. And then there's these weird segments right before you get to a certain point in the game where it's this overhead view, and you just have to kill a few enemies and get over there, basically. Don't really know what the point of it is, but it's there.
It's enough. He's dead.
This is kind of a weird way to structure your cutscene, like...
Full of blood.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure why they do it this way.
Yeah, it looks like it's some kind of dream bubble kind of thing.
Yeah, they do this, and then they just do the regular cutscenes, so... And yeah, I'm pretty sure you saw in the last part, FineEdge, we've lost our voice and cannot speak. The dragon basically speaks for us.
Oh.
That was the price of our pact with the dragon.
You cannot speak.
That sounds really shitty.
Yeah, and we have a marking on our tongue from it.
A pact.
Although, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to hear him talk again, considering what he says. When he talks, he kind of sounds like an asshole, really. Just the stuff he says. I mean, which is fitting for his character. He's kind of portrayed as a murderer, mass murderer.
The village would be a safe haven.
Not really a hero. I mean, he's supposed to be a hero, but
it may be dangerous to take
not
the goddess
really.
to the castle. What else is there to do?
So, something interesting I did learn about this. I believe the person that voiced, you know, the main, like, Kaim also voices the Kaim, yeah, sorry. Kaim also voices the dragon in the Japanese version, but that's, if I remember correctly, like I kind of skipped over it because I didn't think we'd need it, you know, but apparently it's
well,
relevant.
it is interesting because the dragon is a woman, or is voiced by a woman, so I'm guessing Kaim was voiced by a woman in the Japanese version?
Yeah.
Huh. I can't imagine. I mean, it would have to be really convincing. I mean, it would have to have a really convincing man voice, I guess, because I can't see Kaim with a woman's voice.
I'll make sure to double check once we finish the video, and then I'll...
Yeah, because that's... Yeah. I mean, if Kaim... Because Kaim isn't really, at least not in this version, he doesn't have, like, any sort of a high-pitched voice or anything, so it wouldn't really make sense to cast a woman. I don't know.
I'll make sure to... I'll correct myself in the comments if I, you know...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, that's interesting. This is a certain... this is kind of a strange little aspect about Inuart's character, is he likes the harp, or to play the harp. And for some reason his harp is important because it's supposed to soothe us and make us feel at peace, but yeah.
So,
I believe actually one of the levels you have to find Inuart's harp.
What? Whatever. I've had weirder missions.
Oh, well, you haven't seen anything yet. If you want to talk about weird. This game goes into some pretty weird territory.
So, oh yeah, the developers of this game, they actually had to fight a lot with Square Enix to keep all the creative decisions in the final product.
Yeah, you've mentioned that Square Enix like wanted to change the game, or they didn't want to have some of the decisions that the developers made go through, or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of them were like really stupid. Like they wanted the sky to be blue or something, or you know, they wanted to change that for some reason.
Wait, so they originally wanted the sky to be blue, but Square Enix wasn't okay with it?
What is it?
Yeah, it was either Square Enix, like one of them didn't want the sky to be blue for some reason, and something to do with realism.
That seems like a really like trivial sort of thing, though. I don't know why they'd want to change that.
Yeah, there's always some trivial thing that, you know, people want control over for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really had too much of a problem with Square Enix, but yeah, they have done some pretty shady things before.
All the bravest.
So basically, like, we heard a voice, and it's implied that there's some mysterious sort of things going on, etc., etc. And yeah, there was there was a loading screen for that. I want to point that out. There was like not really maybe a loading screen, but like one of these, like, you know, typically what you'd see before a level starts. That's not really a level. It's more like just a little segment of a cutscene. And we're back to the flying missions. These are probably my favorite sections in the game because, you know, they're not just mashing buttons and slaughtering people. It's at least you're flying a dragon now, and, you know, it's at least adding some variety to the gameplay.
Yeah, this was actually based off of Panzer Dragoon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I heard it was had something. It was based off of Panzer Dragoon.
You know, I remember X-Play...
And if that's true, I need to play those games because I really like these parts.
Oh, good luck with that. They're very, very rare.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it sucks when decent games are rare. But yeah, what you can do with Angelus is you can actually target, if you hold down square, you can target multiple enemies, and that comes in handy quite a bit. You can actually target more when you level up Angelus. So, like, I think near the end of the game you could probably target about 10 things, but then again, I'm guessing.
So, yeah, I remember a while back, I believe X-Play, like, they're talking about, like one of the fans asked if there was any good Dragon games, and I believe they recommended, it was either this or Panzer Dragoon. It might have been both. They're like, yeah, these are like the only two like good Dragon games around.
Oh, that's weird. So there's really no other decent Dragon games.
Yeah, but this is like maybe this was over 5 years ago, so they probably
Yeah, I mean, well, they haven't really. The only other game that I can think of in which you're flying a dragon would be Lair, and Lair was like a failure, basically.
Oh yeah, I remember,
It was one of the launch titles for the PS3.
it wasn't a launch title, but it was like, you know, first year.
Or an early title, not
Yeah.
not a
Yours
launch
shall
title.
surely perish.
Yeah, I remember like that was actually one of the games I wanted for a PS3,
Now that you
but
are the goddess.
yeah,
It looked like a good game, but I guess it just fell short. I haven't actually played it, but apparently it's not very good.
yeah, the reason why the game sucked so hard was because it was based entirely around the 6-axis. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the 6-axis controller did everything. They later did make an update where it took that out and you could actually use normal analog sticks and everything, but at that point it was way too late, so...
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of the 6-axis controls and if it's used in moderation. But if it's like you're using it to control everything, then yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Yeah, the last...
Like, I liked it in Heavy Rain and some of the Uncharted games.
Yeah, I think the last game I played that even, like, bothered with the 6-axis was Dark Souls. And that was just to, like, do gestures, and that was really it.
Yeah, not a lot of games really utilize 6-axis. There's not much reason to, though.
Yeah, it's,
And I didn't know this when I first played the game, but there is a magic attack you can use with Angelus that I just neglected to use. It's basically... It'll basically attack multiple enemies, so it's pretty much the same as just holding down square where the fireball you can send out multiple fireballs, but it's like a more powerful version of that. So, and you also build up the mana again by killing enemies. It's very useful in boss fights.
It must be.
Yep, we're going towards the Elf Village. Because the Empire is just destroying everything, apparently.
Good. Now to the village.
so another, like, fun fact about this game is, like, many of the weird quirks with all the personalities of the characters, right? They're conceptualized like for the sake of originality, because
Oh well, it's very original. I'll give them that.
yeah, like the developer Toro Yoko, I believe his name, he felt Drakengard wouldn't stand a chance against Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy if the characters were normal. So I don't know why he used Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy as his bar, like. Or as a
Yeah, I
comparison.
mean, it's really nothing like any of the characters from Final Fantasy. I mean, if he's going for originality, then yeah, they're pretty original, but I wouldn't compare them to Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, well, the reason why I think it's weird is because it's like those are RPGs. This is clearly not an RPG.
Yeah, no, this isn't an RPG. Well, you would think that if you just, glanced at it, but yeah, no, it's not an RPG. It's basically just mindless hack and slash. And also, something I want to point out, if you're flying the dragon, I might have pointed out this in the first part, if you're flying the dragon and you're near archers will pretty much have you force you off the dragon if you don't take care of them. That's the only way you could get, you would have to be forced to do the rest of this on foot, is the archers, and if the archers weren't there, then you would seriously have no problem. Except maybe the magic resistant guys, because if you attack the magic resistant guys with the dragon, then they can, then that's like considered a magic attack, so they will like reflect that back at you, and that can also force you to dismount. But yeah, sorry, I kind of interrupted. FineEdge, if you were going to say something.
No, it's pretty much done.
Okay. But yeah, there's like just hordes and hordes of enemies here. Like, I was not exaggerating when I said there's like a ton of enemies that just come at you. It does help when they give you those explosive orbs, because those are basically an AoE attack.
The Empire's
really
forces
useful.
have-
I gave
And not
her
to
idea
mention
there.
when your
the
sword
village safe?
glows and you can do that explosion thing.
Yeah. So,
There's also those little I guess you'd call them ballasts or ballistas over there.
I think it's
you have to
ballistas.
basically take care of those.
Sorry.
Yeah, ballistas. Yeah, we're basically trying to take care of those guys. If we don't take care of them, then we won't be able to mount the dragon again. Because they can also fire, you know, those annoying projectiles at us.
yeah.
But they happen to be our targets too, so that's...
So, Kame, right? Or Kime?
Kime.
Kime, yeah. You know, I will get this one day. I will get that one day. So. But,
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much of a difficult name to pronounce.
yeah.
At least not for me, I guess. I guess some people might get thrown off by it.
Yeah, for me, it's the spelling that throws me off. But,
Yeah. It just really depends on how you pronounce it.
Yeah, but yeah, he was actually conceptualized at the same time as Angelus, and the development team actually wanted to create a new type of romance between between an elderly woman and a young man. And they actually purposely cast the same. Oh yeah, it was the same Japanese voice actor. So yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see where that idea would come from, because like the dragon does sound, you know, the voice actor, at least for the American version, she's like an older woman. So yeah, I mean, I can see where they were going to have implemented that idea.
So yeah, to correct past me,
Yeah,
yes,
sorry.
I actually did cover it. Just take that past me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just
Cannot dare to come
went
so
away
far.
with the idea because that would have been
Can they come?
kind of, I don't know, I guess it would have been too like taboo and strange. But you know, considering
Consider the
everything
things
else
in this game, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, like, considering everything else in this game, that's really, you know, that's really small in comparison. I mean, we have. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but we have some pretty fucked. I'm basically just gonna say we have some pretty fucked up shit that you guys are about to see. So, relationship with an elderly woman, yeah, that's really low on the list there. Yeah, these guys, these bigger enemies here, I guess the only instance in which you would have to use those other weapons would probably be with these guys, because some of the weapons will cause them to, like, stagger backwards, and you can basically paralyze them, so that's kind of useful. But more often than not, you just want to use the Kime sword against them.
So, you know more about their relationship, right? Yeah, Yoko admits he never actually had any real hand in playing the main story of that fans are familiar with, and he can't remember Kime, right?
Yeah, Kime.
Yeah, he can't remember Kime's story arc, and he can't relate with the popularity of either characters because he originally wanted their relationship to be similar to a parasitic one, where Angelus was the host and Kime was the bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's... I guess you could still say that's kind of their relationship, although it's not really as emphasized as Kime being the bitch, but he's still pretty much, I mean, I can still see Angelus as being the dominant one. Yeah, unfortunately we can't mount a dragon with these trees in the way. Because mounting the dragon really just makes these, a lot of these areas go by faster, since we can just slaughter so much more enemies with, you know, burning them all to a crisp.
You know, usually I'm not one to argue against game logic, but why doesn't the dragon just come in and burn the trees, you know?
That would actually make sense, but, you know, video games don't really like to make sense sometimes. Or actually a lot of the time, pretty much.
I guess, they just
Especially
have time.
this game.
Yeah, I guess it's a time thing because, well, they did say that the game was rushed by Square Enix, so, yeah.
I can see that. I mean, at least in the gameplay, I don't know if were they originally just planning for it to be a hack and slash, or was there anything else they had wanted it to be besides just a hack and slash, or hack and slash like dragon?
It was pretty much just hack and slash with the dragon flying.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense since, you know, Panzer Dragoon Dynasty, the popularity of both Panzer Dragoon and Dynasty Warriors, that's all they could really do, or wanted to do. They just wanted to kind of ride off that popularity, at least in terms of gameplay.
Well, actually, I'm not sure the reason why they were inspired by Panzer Dragoon, but, well, from what I hear, the series is good, but, yeah, besides that, I'm not really sure, but they did have the whole Dynasty Warriors thing because Dynasty Warriors was a hit in Japan for the second game, so...
Yeah, they kind of just wanted to, basically because those games were popular.
Oh, not to, like...
So they thought if they made the gameplay similar that, you know, it would sell better.
Yeah. This wasn't like I wasn't trying to repeat myself from before, but...
Yeah. No, it's okay, but yeah, this turned out to... I guess, I don't know if I've explained this, but that little orb there basically increases our attack power to make it like 10 times more powerful, so we can just slash through all these guys now. It only lasts for about a minute, though.
Speedrun tactics.
You and Fury,
Yep.
no matter.
Okay, so there's that implication, if you paid attention to what Inuart just said. He believes that we were attracted to our sister, and that's actually kind of true.
What?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this to you, FineEdge.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, no, it's... Considering this is, you know, this game was, you know, from Japan, I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but, you know, Japan is kind of backwards in that regard. You know, it's not really that surprising to me. I'm not trying to stereotype or anything like that, I'm just saying there's, like, a lot of that, unfortunately.
You could just chalked it up with Japan as weird.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit that comes from Japan. So we've arrived at the elf village, but everybody's pretty much dead, I'm guessing. Yep. Pretty much everything that's happening, at least right now, is the Empire's fault, or we believe it to be the Empire's fault.
The elf village is close. Yeah.
The Empire's always kind of come off as this kind of vague thing, because it's supposed to be like just this opposing faction of people, at least that's what you initially believe it is, but it's not really that simple. The Empire is more like just, there's a lot more symbolism with it. Like, the Empire is basically just like, it feels the more you progress in the game, it's more like the Empire is just kind of something basically we just kind of fabricated or made up just so we can, like, slaughter people, pretty much. It just feels that way. And I'm thinking that might be what they were going for with it.
I'm not sure if they were going with that. Like, they didn't even know.
It just kind of comes off as feeling like, because it's because the Empire is just so mysterious, and it's just really, it's more like just, I like to say, like, it's more like a materialization of just
excuse
like
to kill people.
Yeah, pretty much.
What shall I do?
So one of the character designers for this game, in an interview, he's actually embarrassed by his designs for Kain, like from 10 years ago. Well, yeah, well, he's embarrassed from all of them, but Kain especially. Kaim.
So, like, all the characters he's embarrassed, like,
especially Kaim's design. Does
he, like, specify what he didn't like about it?
No, he just says he has no idea what he was thinking when he drew it.
I'm not strong enough to protect you.
I mean, I don't really have much of a problem with it. I think they look fine to me, but I guess he wasn't too impressed.
Songs.
At least not in retrospect.
It's strange, but so were a lot of the way the characters dressed during this time. I mean, this was like 2000s RPG. This was pretty common.
Yeah.
I don't think it like.
Yeah, that's basically what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I don't think the weird dressing stopped until after Phantasy Star Universe. Have you played?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I can see where they got the inspiration from, at least in the regard of how the characters look and dress from Final Fantasy, because it's very reminiscent of that. But Final Fantasy, of course, is I've always thought was a lot more strange with its with all the hairstyles and outfits and everything.
I don't know. I personally didn't. I don't think it really got strange. Well, for 7, I don't think 7 was that bad. 8 was not bad either.
I thought like 10, like maybe like 10 and 12, but I mean, it does make sense, I guess, considering the setting. But yeah, I don't know. I just, at least when I played it as a kid, I always found it like kind of weird. Well, but I mean, now that I look back at it, I can understand why they dressed that way. Yeah. At least to an extent. Yeah. Well,
I think 9 had some questionable ones, but wasn't too bad. But yeah, there's definitely 10. Especially Waka.
I don't really remember which one was 9 again. Like, I remember, like, it's not a lot of people. I don't know if a lot of people talk about 9.
9 is like really underrated. Like, what happened with 9 was, it was released at the end of the PS1's life cycle, so people pretty much just didn't buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very underrated.
Oh wait, was 9 Crystal Chronicles or whatever it was called?
No.
Or was that something else?
That's something else.
I'm thinking of the GameCube game. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like 9. I'm trying to remember 9. Like, I don't know. It's been a while since I played 9. I never got to finish it. I got to the 3rd disc before my PS3 Yell White of Death. Like during the 3rd disc of the game, so I never got to finish it.
Oh, that sucks.
And yes, because it's the 3rd disc of the game, it's like I don't really want to go back and finish it, you know?
How many discs were there? Just 3? Or was there more than that?
4, I believe.
Jesus, this is a pretty long game. I mean, I think, you know, most of the Final Fantasy games are long. I just didn't think there were that many discs. I thought there were, you know, maybe at least 2. But
oh, yeah, the reason for the discs, all those discs, is because of all the cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, because the PS1 couldn't hold that much data.
Well, actually, it held 700 megabytes versus the N64, which was 64 megabytes. And
yeah, it held more than that, but just considering how long the Final Fantasy games were.
Yeah, like, most of it was because of the CG. Sorry.
And now we have these annoying freaking things, these, like, boxes that like to fire these lasers at us. I don't know what else to call them, like, lasers. But yeah, they can be kind of obnoxious. And basically what you have to do here is just do the evade maneuver, and just evade to the side, and you'll pretty much most of the time miss them. Best tactic is just target every single one of them, and yeah, just do that. Target all of them and fire. That's what I do with every one of these enemies here. That's like, unless we're dealing with a boss, that's pretty much all I do when I ride the dragon. Depending on what you have to do for the boss, that is. And I've actually, like, I didn't even. Fun little fact, the first time I played this game, I didn't even know about this, the side dodge maneuver that I was doing. So
yeah, you brought that.
I got hit quite a bit.
Yeah, you brought that up in part 1. I don't blame you, though. That was a month
sorry,
ago.
What were you going to say?
You brought that up in part 1, but yeah, that was like a month ago, so
yeah.
I don't really blame you for forgetting.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. If I bring stuff up that I already have brought up, it's either because FineEdge might not have heard about it, or I just forgot about it because it's been a while since I've uploaded a video to this channel, so it's like, yeah. But hopefully I'm going to try to be uploading more regularly to the group channel, because I know this channel's been pretty inactive as of late, and I want to change that. Oh, what's over here? Oh, more of those. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I've faced these bird things yet, but they're kind of obnoxious, but easily dealt with. They fire like these weird like projectiles, and they can fly around. So not all of your attacks are they're a lot easier to they're well not easier, but they're a lot harder to hit because they can move around like that.
So, oh, did you know a little fun fact about the PS2? When the PS2 first came out, right? The developers, like anyone that programmed for the system and everything, they got this big ass like manual for the game, like for the system on how to like program for it. But it was written in really bad English, so it
really
like it was in this really horrible English. So it took like 6 extra months in order to like get like to understand it in order to like make anything for it.
So it was basically just really badly translated.
Yeah, and they had to like deal with it because I mean it was the PS2. You really it was your only option to make any money, so they just dealt with it.
Yeah.
They're protected from magic.
Yeah, I mean PS2 I can see would be like a really. It seemed like it would be a really profitable system, especially considering how many just the library of games it has.
Yeah, like the main reason.
So I mean, I don't blame them for taking the extra time and effort to learn that.
Yeah, like it didn't help that the way Sony made their systems, like up until the PS4, they'd make it so it was intentionally difficult to develop for. So that way, when they ported it to like the GameCube or the Xbox or whatever, it'd like be a worse port and it would just like hurt the overall game and. It'd make it worse.
I didn't know that the PS1 and PS2 were difficult to develop for. I just thought that was just something for the PS3 because the PS3 had like a cell processor.
Well, with the PS1, it was more like developing for it was more like the SNES. Yeah, the SNES. So that way, like when developers make games for it, it would just be like you could just do it and just already know how to make it and everything. So it didn't take too much time to learn.
Yeah.
And actually benefit.
Yeah, and I guess the PlayStation has always just had a unique architecture.
Yeah, like with PS2 and PS3, they intentionally made it difficult, so that's really it.
Yeah, I can see why they'd change it for the PS4 though, just because they had to keep up with the changing technology and how games are becoming, more graphically advanced. So. Well,
the reason why they changed it was because a lot of developers gave them shit with the PS3 and. Because
yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think
mainly because of the multi-plats.
Yeah, but because well, with the 360, it was basically like developing on a PC, right? Well, with the PS3, it was like you had to learn this whole new architecture, and it's been a while since I looked up PS3 development, but yeah, it was like extremely difficult. I think it took like I think Sony made a chart for the development time, and it would take like I think it was like over a year to develop a PS3 game, like at least over a year.
Like a first-party title?
Yeah, like well, really any game.
That's pretty crazy. I guess just because of the architecture, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like
I mean,
a year.
I don't really.
Sorry.
I mean, if there's first-party titles, then, usually a lot of first-party titles on the PS3 look pretty damn good. I mean, I guess I can see why they would want to. I mean, the architecture, although, the architecture is really, it's kind of stupid that they would just make it so not a lot of people can develop for it. But, like, usually with first-party exclusive titles for the PS3, they look pretty good. I guess I don't know if that has to do with the fact that the architecture is so complex.
Oh,
but
yeah, the reason why, well, they made even though it was like really, really complex and difficult to like develop for, it did make the games good, like look really good, and it was actually, like it was so hard to develop for it that in Naughty Dog, they actually the studio almost died because they were developing the PS3. Like
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And yeah, and when the PS3 originally like came out, like originally it wasn't gonna ship with a GPU, like it was just gonna be CPU only. But and that
seriously, how would it be able to play games or
like they were gonna make everything just go on the CPU and that was it. But they realized this was a really dumb idea, so they delayed it a year in order to add a GPU. That's why the GPU.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying that was pretty stupid of them to just have a CPU only
Yeah, and it's kind of the reason why the GPU is shit on PS3.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, basically there's a lot of targets here. The game is going to give you like a lot of targets. If you're done killing a certain amount of targets, the game will just give you more targets to kill and spawn more enemies.
Why would they do that?
I don't know, it's like you feel like you've accomplished something if you've killed all the targets, but then it's like, oh hey, there's more.
That sounds really like they're just trying to keep you there.
It's kind of like padding, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really... There's not really much of a point to it, except to just elongate the level.
So
there's a lot of these magic resistant guys. I don't know why I just did that, but there's a lot of these magic resistant guys now, so that makes it so we have to just melee them. We can't use our fire magic.
Sorry, we're not talking about the game as much. It's because I didn't...
No, it's okay. There's really not a lot going on right now anyway.
Yeah, I didn't do enough research when researching this game. Like,
it's when there's not a lot of stuff going on, guys, we're probably just going to not really talk about stuff that isn't relevant, but at least talk about something not at least directly about the game. When there's a cutscene, though, or something like that, we're going to just comment on it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like... Well, remember on Pandora's Tower, you don't really have much to talk about, you're just reacting? This is kind of...
Well, it's mainly because I didn't really know too much about what was going on.
Yeah, this is kind of the same thing right now.
Except for what you told me and what was happening.
Yeah. It's kind of what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm basically attacking the groups that have the targets because I'm kind of... There's not really much of a point in attacking any of the extra guys unless you just want to grind.
Yeah, I think, have you played Fist of the North Star 2?
I haven't.
Okay, like, it's another Dynasty Warriors kind of game. Like, they do the same thing where if you don't take out the main target, like, that's probably a common thing in these kind of games. I think...
Yeah, like in Dynasty Warriors, there'd be, like, officers you have to take out.
Yeah, if you don't take out the officers,
similar concept.
Respawn, yeah. And,
but at least if you took out officers in Dynasty Warriors, like, they'd lose morale and they'd have troops retreat.
Yeah, and, oh, you played Zengoku Basabara Japanese Anime 3?
I have no idea what you're talking about, sorry. Like, I've never heard of that.
It's, well, on PS2 it was called Demon Kings, and,
okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you played that. I actually did play that. And
no, I'll have to look that up later, but I haven't played it.
Basically, it's this Dynasty Warriors kind of game, but instead of being, like, serious, they make it more like an anime. And it's actually, like, pretty enjoyable. I like it. They did make a fourth one.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors games are generally enjoyable, but,
yeah.
Okay, I want to comment on these guys. These motherfuckers here are these wizards. There's going to be so many of them that pop up. They die easily, but their magic attacks, they will do a lot of damage and they will spam you with them. You have to be really careful. I don't know, FineEdge, if you just saw, like, so many of them just popped up on the map.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of all these guys.
Yeah, I saw you kill one of them and then, like, 30 of them
Fortunately, you can use your fire attacks against them, and that's what I'm going to start trying to spam them with, because it becomes easier to just spam them with the fire attacks than it is to just go up and attack them directly, because they would only take a few hits, or a couple hits, really, before they get killed. But there's just so many of them, and there's so many attacks coming at you at once. You just really have to try to run out of the way. I mean, there's really no other way. You can't dodge or anything. There's no dodge maneuver, so it's more like you just have to try to get out of the line of fire.
Maybe you could use that jump feature.
You could use it. Well, yeah, you could use the jump. That buggy jump that apparently doesn't work. Right? I mean, it's been working fine for me, so I don't know what they're talking about. The fire attack, unfortunately, doesn't have much range, so they have to be a certain distance, and A lot of them, I just noticed, a lot of them like to get really close and surround you, so...
Oh,
yeah, that's really obnoxious.
Oh, that gets even more annoying because if you don't kill them, they'll actually heal themselves, because I saw one of them heal themselves.
Yeah, they heal themselves. You just have to be really careful. You have to kill them as fast as possible. At least that fire attack pretty much takes out most of their health.
Yeah, at least it stuns them.
And a bunch more just spawned.
Oh.
Great.
You should really remember to...
And we cannot mount the dragon. I don't know why. I mean, if we mounted the dragon, this would be so much easier. I guess that's why we can't mount the dragon.
Padding.
Because if we mounted the dragon, we would be able to take all of these guys out, because they don't take that many hits at all before they're down.
You know, I really wish I remembered where this is from, but I remember... Do you watch Some Call Me Johnny?
I don't think so.
Oh, like, okay, he had this review, right? And he pointed out that this game had a lot of padding in it, and he knew it was padding, so, he pretty much, he was just like, I forget, it's more of a visual joke than it is explaining it, so...
No remorse.
Oh, was he talking about this game in particular, or was it
just
another game?
It was just another game that had a lot of padding.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, this is basically just padding. Like, that's all it is. I mean, the reason I kind of just, you know, don't really mind it as much is because, you know, I feel like the story and the characters and everything really make up for at least what padding is there and what annoying sort of gameplay is there pretty much. But yeah, that does get on my nerves. They use it quite a bit here. So we're looking for the elves, and the elves are pretty much, I'm guessing they're probably dead. It was the Empire.
Have you thought about, like, cutting out all the save things and load screens?
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Please tell me that's the last one.
Really, the only
no.
point to that was to just kill that one guy.
So,
He could have not been there if we could have had the same cutscene. Like, you had just been lying there dead, and then we could still have this cutscene.
how should I know what
Well, yeah, there wasn't really any point for us to just kill that one guy because, and especially considering we just before that killed like a bunch of guys just like that one guy right there. So, yeah, I don't really understand some parts of this game, like that one in particular.
We had best hurry to the desert. The goddess may be in danger.
I love how I guess, I mean, it does make sense, but I guess the dragon, I don't really know how the dragon understands like what Kaim is trying to say, especially if he doesn't have a voice, but I would guess they're maybe like mentally communicating or something, but I could just be reading too much into it.
I could read into that, but I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only real explanation I can come up with.
Or to take them.
And that's basically the essential question the game is asking.